we're going to go ahead and get started with 10-7 notes. So 10-7 is dealing with special segments in a circle. So if you have two chords that are intersecting inside your circle, here's chord, chord, they intersect at some point, then that means that if you take each piece of the chord, so if this chord right here, you take this piece and you multiply it by this piece, and it will be equal to the same distance as C times D. So you're taking both pieces of the chord, multiplying them together, and it will be equal to the product of the other chord. So in this example, we have two chords intersecting inside this circle. So if you take AB, which is 6, and you multiply it by BC, which is X, it'll be equal to the product of 8 times 3. So in order to find X, you just divide each side, and you have the answer. So in number 1, this piece of the chord is 2. So this chord right here is 2 times X, and it will be equal to 3 times 6. So 2X is equal to 18, and X is equal to 9. Look at 2. This chord, that's the diameter. It's 2 times 10, which is 20. And then the other chord is X times X. Well, what is X times X? Not 2X. X squared. X plus X is 2X. X times X is X squared. So in order to solve for X, we have to take the square root of both sides. So X is I think it's... Did I do something wrong? No? Yes, I did. I missed a piece. Look, what's the radius? 10. This is 2. So what's this part right here? 8. Which means this chord right here is actually 18 times 2. Not 20. Sorry. Okay, so let me start this one over. Okay, I know that this is the diameter because it goes straight through the vertex. It told me that the radius is 10, which means the other half has to be 10 as well. Well, this little chord, this piece of the chord is 2, which means the rest of this right here is 8. So you have to add, this right here is not 8 or 10, it is 18. So in order to solve for X, 18 times 2 is 36. X times X is still X squared. Take the square root and X is equal to 6. Okay, number 3. This piece is 6, this piece is X, so 6X is equal to 8 times 8, which is 64. Solve for X. 10.7. Okay, I wish it stayed this easy. Did you ever know that you were going to start factoring to find circles? I'm not kidding. Not kidding. Okay, so let's look at this one. In order to find X, we have to set each piece of the chord. We have to multiply it together. So this piece is X. So X times the other piece, which is X plus 7, equals 3 times 6, which is 18. Well, I have to distribute that X. So X times X is X squared. X times 7 is 7X equals 18. Well, I have to move what over? 18. It's positive, so it becomes negative when I move it over. So now we have X squared plus 7X minus 18 equals 0. We'll find your solutions for X. X and X What multiplies to be negative 18 and adds to be 7? 9 and 2, 9 and negative 2. 9 times negative 2 is negative 18. So plus 9 minus 2. But you actually have to solve for x, so you have to set those equal to x. So x plus 9 is equal to 0, which really makes it negative 9. X minus 2 equals 0. You have to add it over, so it just becomes 2. But x cannot be a negative number. It can't be a negative distance. So it's not negative 9, it is 2. So your answer was 2. Factoring never, ever, ever leaves your side. Okay, let's look at number 5. I have a different piece of paper because I write big. So, I know that this is the middle of the circle. So from here to here is x plus 2. What's this right here? That's also x plus 2. And if this piece is 5, then so is this piece. So we have to multiply the two pieces together and set them equal to the other side. So 5 times 5 is 25. Yes?
Why couldn't you just do 5 equals x plus 2?
You could. Same thing. It's probably way easier, actually. Way easier.
But you can do that, just set 5.
Because it's a radius. Because they're both radius. Because they're both radii. That's a great idea. Let's do that. Because you see, the answer is 3. And if I subtract 2, then I get 3. And when I was working this out yesterday, do you see how long it took me? I still got 3, but her idea was way better. So you could still do x plus 2, x plus 2. You get all this equals 25. Move your 25 over, you get negative 21. Set them, factor it. Well, I know it can't be negative 7, so it has to be positive 3. That's the long way. I would do it Emma's way. That's only if it's in the center. That's only if the vertex is in the center. Okay? Let's look at 6. So this is not the case for 6. But if this is x, what's this? X. And if this whole piece is 7, and that's 2, then this little piece right here is 5. But you have to take what's on this side of the chord. So 5 plus 7 is actually 12, yeah. So you have 12 times 2, which is 24. This times that is 24. X times x is x squared. So to solve for x, you have to take the square root of 24. 5-ish, 4.9. Try 7 and 8 on your own. Right. You get 2.2 and 4? So this should be 2 times 3 is 6. X is x squared equals to 30. So x squared is equal to 5. And x was approximately 2.2. Over here you had 3x squared equals 48. X squared is equal to 16. Square root of 16 is 4. Okay? All right, on to the next page, page 8. Now we're talking about segments that intersect outside of the circle. So that's the big difference. First part, they were inside, now they're outside. So kind of the same thing. If they both come from the same exterior point, goes all the way through the circle to the other side, then this is the case. A all the way to C times A to B, so you have to go all the way times little way, is equal to all the way of the other side from A to E times A to D. So you have to do the whole piece times just the piece that's outside is equal to the whole piece times just the piece that's outside. Here is what I was saying if you need to see it. This is what I just said. Okay? That's if they both go through the circle to the other side. The difference between that one and this one is that this one only goes to the end. This is a, what kind of line? Tangent. Do you want to know how I thought of this to teach my standard geometry? Because I have to put like words with stuff, and it might help y'all too. When you get a tan, does it go inside your body? No, it just stays on the outside, right? So a tangent line stands on the outside of the circle. Secant line, when you think of seeping, like something is seeping into your body, secant line goes into the circle. Don't know, it helps. So tangent line stays on the outside because our tans stay on the outside. Seek goes through because something is seeping. Okay. All right, so if you have a tangent, AB is tangent, and a secant line, and then in order to find different parts, you have to do AB squared is equal to whole of this one times little piece of that. What I just said is right here. So in order to have one secant and one tangent that intersect outside of the circle, you have to do tangent squared equals whole times half, or the little piece of the other. So let's do an example. This is scenario number 1. This is scenario number 2. Look at example 1. Is it 1 or 2? Huh? 2. Because it's a secant and a tangent. So we have to find x. Well, in order to do that, I have to take the tangent line and square it. So 3.3 squared is equal to the whole over here. So what is PT? 2.2 plus x. The whole is 2.2 plus x. And then just the outside is 2.2. So you could switch this around because we have to distribute, so you have to know that you can distribute like if this is on the outside. If that confuses you, then switch it. 2.2, then 2.2 plus x. So distribute 2.2 and square 3.3. 3.3 squared is 10.89. So now it's just solving equations. Subtract 4.84 from both sides. So we get 2.75. Okay, let's look at number 2. This is scenario number 1. They're both tangents going all the way through the circle to the other side. So let's take the whole and multiply it by the outside. Well, the whole thing is what? Which, if you go ahead and combine those, because they're numbers, so we can go ahead and combine them. I got 42. 42. So that's the whole. Multiply it by the outside, which is just 16, equals the whole for the other one. We can't combine these. It doesn't become one term. It's 18 plus x. And the outside is just 18. So now 14 times 16. Did y'all get 19.33? Okay, I want y'all to try 3 and 4. 3 and 4. If you're done with 3 and 4, go on to 5 and 6. So I'm glad you were here today on this lesson. Here's the answers for 3, 4, 5, and 6. I want you to check yourself. Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing 6 times 2x, would it be 12x squared?
You have to do just 6 times 6 plus 2x, which would be 36 plus 12x, equals to 64.
I just wasn't sure if you had to square it for 12x.
So for this one, if that it's telling you that these two pieces are congruent. So if that's 8, then this is 8. No, don't do that. So for the whole, it's 8 plus 8, which is 16, times the outside, which is just 8. So 16 times 8, which is 128, is equal to outside of the other times, add those together. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay, so for 3, let me clarify. You have to do the whole, which if that is 8, so is this. So when you add them, 8 plus 8 is 16. And then the outside is just 8. So that is equal to the whole of the other side, which is 6 plus 2x. And then just the outside is 6. When you solve this equation, you'll get 7.7. Okay, let's do 6. So we have the whole, which is 8 plus 2, so the whole is 10. 10 times the outside, which is 8. Then you have the whole of the other side, which is 11 plus x, times just the outside, which is x. So we have 80 equals 11x plus x squared, which means we have to rearrange. So subtract 80 over, subtract 80, subtract 80. I'm just going to switch these to put it in quadratic form. So you have x squared plus 11x minus 80 equals 0. Factor comes out to be positive 16 and minus 5. When you actually set those equal to 0, x plus 16 equals to 0 becomes negative 16. X minus 5 equals 0 becomes x plus 5. Or x equals 5. So it's not negative, so it's 5. Do I need to do 4 or 5? 5. Okay, if you're good, go ahead and go to the other page and do your homework. 5. You have the whole over here, which is 6 plus 4x. So you have 6 plus 4x, and then the outside is just 6, which is equal to the whole of the other side, which is 6 plus x plus 3. Times 6. Okay, so this becomes 36 plus 24. Combine these, 6 and 3 makes 9. 9 times 6 is 54 plus 6x. Am I doing this right? 6 times the whole thing, which is 6 plus 4x. And then we have the other side, which is 6 is the outside. Then the whole thing is 6 plus x plus 3. So subtract 6, 18, 54, minus 36 is 18, so x is equal to 1. All right, you have 1 through 9 for homework this weekend. Here are your answers. I like giving answers so you know if you're doing it right. 1 is 14. 2 is 13.5. 3 is 10. 4 is 6. 5 is 3, 6 is 6, 7 is 12, 8 is 10, 9 is 8. So that's page 9.